We did performance measurement and control, is it? Performance measurement and control. Because standard costing, I think I gave you as an assignment, isn't it? Oh. Okay. How about performance measurement and control? We learned last time? We didn't. Oh, okay.
There's some topics that we didn't touch
On transfer pricing?
on performance measurements.
We did.
Some
subtopics. Mm-hmm. We didn't cover which one? We didn't. Didn't we talk about we talked about the public and non-profit making organizations? I think we talked about that. Come again?
No.
We didn't. So it means we just have to continue the performance measurement and control. Standard costing and the variances analysis, I think we just have to read next week, because that's the last meeting. We just have to revise where we can think it can be potential for the exams. I don't know, maybe we can discuss how we should do it. Otherwise, I thought that one, standard costing, I know it can come, of course, but I remember this other class, I gave them a group assignment that they should do that. Mm-hmm.
Behavioral aspects.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's write behavior. Aspects of what?
Budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
And under performance measurement, we did not do performance analysis, not for profit making organization.
We did this one. Performance analysis on what?
Not for profit making organization.
Oh, okay.
That one we didn't do.
Public
and then behavioral aspects of standard
and the standard costing. Oh yes, it is on that, but it can also be yes, performance analysis, but it's public and non-profit making. Organizations. These are the two that we didn't. You are saying that. So we have to go to budgeting. Even I don't know why you are not so anxious of the time. Mind you, we are. This is almost the last meeting for us, and yet people do not come. Why? You know what? Always have that interest of meeting for the lecturer in the last moments. Why? You can know the stresses where it's being done by the lecturer. So I don't know why we are saying that. We are saying that we didn't tackle behavior aspects of budgeting. What are the behavior aspects of budgeting? Because, when just because it's classwork, we tend to think it's something different. Behavior aspects of budgeting? What do you think this can be? Augustus? I don't know. Nothing is coming. Aspects, Dorothy, you can't think about the aspects of budgeting. What actually do they want to explain to us about behavior aspects? How does the budget, okay, what is the behavior of budget? We can think about budget. You know what we forget is that when it is classwork, we don't even reason to say how we can think about normal life. 2023. Budget always, we talk about we refer to the past, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes. So we are saying we are in 2024 and then we're going 2025. When, let's say, fuel in 2023 was not the same in 2024, and it will not be the same in 2025. So what is the behavior aspect of budgeting there when you think about these lines? Wa Google, yes, yes. What is it? What happens in those lines? Because when you are talking of a budget, you cannot think of the same, let's say, amounts that you did the other year is the same that you're going to do the other year. Mind you, despite budgeting, we estimate, but still more, you can't do the same. Even if it doesn't change the price, you cannot. How? Due to other experiences that you have done this other year, you are going to say, we underestimated maybe, not that the price itself, but even the activities associated to that particular activity that you have budgeted. You will not have the same amount, despite maybe the price or the cost of whatever you want is the same. Or else we can even think about those lines that an activity is connected to, let's say, fuel. The activity itself doesn't change, it's the same. But due to this, you are talking about traveling to Mzuzu, isn't it? Last year, when you were traveling to Mzuzu, it's not the same consumption of fuel that you are going there. Despite the activity that you are going there maybe has not changed, it's the same. But due to these other additional aspects that are there, that's why you tend to think about that. How does the Google tell you?
Yeah, what I wrote,
Yes, what you wrote, yes.
some of the behavioral aspects
Yes.
of budgeting.
Yes.
I said performance evaluation. This the others were go conclude
So you know what? These aspects can either be importance, the same can also be behavior aspects of budget. Okay, we evaluate exactly, we evaluate how have we done for this other year, for the amounts of the budget that we did. Therefore, from there, that's when you know how you can do for these other. That's the behavior, of course. That's really true. Augustus, now you are in line. Can you think about one?
Behavior aspects.
Yes.
I feel like goal setting and motivation can be one of them.
Evaluation. Come again. Goal
Goal
setting.
setting and motivation.
That's why I'm saying we wrote several importance, and that time Augustus was not here, isn't it? That day, were you here? Augustus, were you here when we wrote importance of budget?
Oh,
No.
yeah, I was.
Yes, we had written so many, isn't it? So that's why I'm saying, you know, that's why when we learn, we tend to think that we have tackled all these. But on coming to individual subtopics, you tend to think we have not tackled. We did, only that maybe you could not connect to what we had already learned. We wrote so many. Yes, motivation. It's a motivation because it has involved the staff that maybe they don't think we are part of the organization. Yes. So we had learned only that you could not notice. But we wrote so many. I think they were,
We didn't,
write the topic itself.
we didn't say behavioral aspects of budget.
But because we said importance.
So if the person comes like that, we still doubt because
Maybe I should check how many marks you got on the assignment.
please. When you get me out of known that, oh,
That yes,
what
I
wrote
was the
correct.
right things.
Yeah, for example, goal and motivation. When there is a budget, it helps an employee to set their goals
Yes.
according to the organization
E-
goals.
Exactly.
And then when an employee is achieving
Yes.
his goals, that is contributing to the goals of the organization.
Yes.
That acts like a motivation.
Exactly. And not only that, you engage even the junior people in the, let's say, department. You say, you are a CO. What are the things or what are the activities you expect to do next year? So he's going to write, these are the activities that we're going to go this and do this and do that. Then he's saying, okay, after writing, give them to me. They give it to you. So when he goes, he's going to say, imagine, I'm also part of the organization. They were asking me what I'm going to do next year basing on my job that I'm doing. So that's a motivation to this particular, who is a junior in the organization. So these are some of the things that we can think. Importance as well as behavior aspects, we can pick some of them to say these are behavior aspects of budgeting. Yes. Then we're saying what? We're saying performance analysis in public and non-profit making organizations. This we also learned, maybe we didn't reach there because of maybe time. Otherwise, we have it in the presentation. I think, didn't I give you the presentation? Is area performance measurement and control. Oh no. Then you have to take it to the. Okay, then I just have to give it. Mhm.
determine we can go to the
Oh, the
presentation.
okay. We said on the performance measurement, we said that we have internal as well as external. But external, that's when we talked about the performance in public and non-profit organizations. So we said that the performance measurement has really taken hold in government over the past several years and over the past few years in non-profit sectors. Although the idea has been around for some time, interest in performance measurement has been invigorated in public and non-profit agencies in recent years as a result of convergence of two forces. We already know that performance measurement, in fact, in government, it is a bit difficult in normal thinking. Why should it be difficult, Augustus? Performance measurement. If we are saying performance measurement, we are talking of the outcome of somebody should be measured. Okay, this is to every organization. But why should it be difficult in government? We have several political pressure, isn't it? Dorothy, measurement. Mwana wa minister akugukira ntchito, you are supposed to measure his performance. But because the father is a minister, are you going to do that? You're going to do it, but you can't say you are underperforming. So those are some of the lines that we should be thinking about when we're talking about the performance analysis in the public service. We have so many that we can think about in civil service. We know that you cannot send your child in civil service. Why? You don't have a relation. Those are some of the lines that we should be thinking about. And again, accountability on the part of governing bodies, the media and the general, the public in general. We are talking about, let's say, what is the idea all about measuring performance in a public sector? I wished, sorry for that, may his soul rest in peace, Chirima. Chirima started performance measurement when he thought about uh, uh, at least changing the grades and the like in the government. That was the intention of changing the performance in government. But instead, I don't know whether we're still going to go ahead with the idea that he had. That was very good, whereby we could again measure performance when we're talking about the public sector. Non-profit making organizations, yes, they can be measured, but mind you, we don't think about making profit. So you say, why should we measure? Why should we measure? They do that, of course, but it's not as critical as in public, in a private organizations. So that's what they thought of us knowing about the performance analysis in public and non-profit making organizations. a growing commitment on the part of managers and agencies to focus on the results and the work to strengthen the performance. So sometimes that is not there. It is there, but not in the same as in the private organization. So that's why they wanted us to understand the performance analysis in the government or public and non-profit making organizations. They will, Dorothy, what do you think about that? Performance analysis. They don't make profit. Yourself, are you measured performance? And you are the very good example on what you had asked. A very good example. Can they check you out there to say, no, you are not performing? That is the church organization where it's a non-profit making organization. As a result, they will say, no, let's just keep him, or else let's give him less work that he can do because he's from our own church. I remember we had, sorry that I'm going to mention a name there, we had somebody who was with us here. He went there, he started work, and the Bwana was the one that I took over. What happened? Because maybe of too much work, but what he was getting was less. I don't know what happened. He moved out and came out from the organization. Now he's back. Those are some of the things that we should be thinking when we're talking about performance analysis. If we were a private organization, you would have not called him again to say, what he did last time, we cannot call him again. But because it's a non-profit making organization, we say, okay, but we have to inspire those that want to come and join us, that we are also part of believing God. Therefore, we should keep him. Those are some of the aspects that are joined in connection of performance measurement in the non-profit making organizations. Mona, we have not gone far so far, but we were going back to what we have already learned. So Dorothy said, no, in the budgeting, we didn't tackle this subtopic, as well as in performance measurement and control, we didn't tackle this subtopic. So we were going through that to say, when we are talking about behavior aspects of budget, we are talking about things that can show the behavior of budget itself. So let me pick this one. Yes, Danny. Hello? Hello, Danny. Thank you. The wrong call. So we were thinking about so many, the importance that we wrote that day. Some of them can be the behavior aspect of the budgeting. That's what we thought about. And then we just had given 2 examples about the behavior aspects of budgeting. And then performance measurement and control, that one, on public and non-profit making organizations, that's what you have found us on to say. There are some things that can hinder the performance measurement or a good performance measurement in a non-profit making organization as well as public. Sometimes political pressure. You already know that when you are a daughter of a politician, you are in public or non-profit making organization, measuring your performance can be a bit difficult. Or when you are related to the owner of the organization, those are some of the things that we have to be thinking aloud. Hello? Yes, please. Okay, good. Mafuta ali kuti? Mafuta ali kuti? Okay, chabwino. Ndili mu class. Okay, chabwino. Ndili mu class. I'll check. Thank you. So we were thinking about those lines to say, you are a daughter. You are a daughter. I wished I was not there. Otherwise, I would have said much. You already know that we have staff here. Despite this is not a non-profit making organization, but still more, there, if you are attached, there is a connection with the owners. It's difficult for you to assess you according to your performance. They will say, how are we going to do that? These are some of the things that we should be thinking in these lines, measuring performance. You can be measured if you are at a private organization. And that's when I was giving an example of a certain friend that she is with, but she was there, he was there. He left and then he came back. Why did he leave? We don't know. The reasons are known to the organization, but they have called him back. Why? They say because we are fellow believers, we can't throw each other away. We should just be assisting each other like that, despite performance outcomes. So these are some of the things that we should be thinking when we're talking about performance measurement and analysis in public and the non-profit making organizations. Any questions, Dorothy? You're the one that started that.
When we are looking at performance analysis, we are doing individually, or we might also look at the organization as a whole.
Maybe if we can look in that scenario where we are looking into the whole organization, that is better because they will perform to the standard, because mind you, for the non-profit making organizations, they will be given lesser funding. They are supposed to use the funding according to the requirement of the donors. Yeah, but we are talking about, let's say, individual performance measurement. That's what we have indeed tackled. But maybe we should think in those lines. How about the measurement of performance in the whole organization, that is in public as well as in the non-profit making organizations? How can we look at it in that scenario? Is it easier to measure the performance for a non-profit making organization? Mona? No idea? Or else not easy, because you have just said that, you have just done that. Not easy. We want to go and analyze the office that you are in there. To say, are you performing according to the standard of the organization that had sent you there?
Is there, but it won't be based on profits.
Yes, normally.
Based on applications.
Exactly.
For example, what was planned and what was actually done.
Exactly.
The fulfillment of some goals, yeah, it won't be based
on profit making. Exactly. In fact, that is what we were saying with Augustus before you had commented, to say, what we are after for the organization. We talked about individual performance when somebody is attached to an NGO or a public. But when we're talking of the whole organization, mainly what they look into is that we had funded them this amount. Are they using the amount according to the requirement? So that is the main thing that they are going to base you on measuring your performance, not how much you are making out of that, because you are not a profit-making organization. So these are some of the lines that we're looking into. Mind you, we also have to think sometimes non-profit making organizations have got volunteers. They're not paid, okay? They're not paid. So those are some of the things. It's difficult. You can measure their performance, but they're not paid. Then you say, this is how it is. So in non-profit making organizations, we look into, let's say, directors, managers, and employees, even volunteers, customers, and clients, where we look into the funding that is involved, the effectiveness of the funding that was given to them. That's where we can measure their performance, so that we can see how we can measure them. So this is what we can talk when we're talking about non-profit making organizations and public. I have this presentation. I think I should also give it to you so that you should go and read and then add up to so many that that we have. In the presentation, we have benefits. Of course, no problem. Sure. So, and what budget?
The budget system. You said there is a presentation.
Which one? This budget.
Isn't it already decent?
Similar machine backflash, activity based. We have just in time. You have just in time, is it?
Just in time as a presentation? No. Backflash, yes.
Life cycle.
Life cycle,
yes.
Mhm.
But just in time, budgetary systems, performance,
Activity based deny.
didn't
Mhm. Modern portfolio theory.
even the standard
Humanity.
costing one, you can just
Come again?
the standard costing. You said there is presentation. Since we only have one class, the main one.
Mhm. Waona gari.
Programming.
Mhm. Standard costing, I think it's also part of costing, and then I think I have it. Standard costing on management, that. No, I don't have. Let me check costing maybe. Standard costing. Okay, good. So I think that's fine.
HB, right?
It,
The actual like standard costing, true standard costing.
I thought it's the same presentation, that's
It's the
why.
same.
I thought so. Let me again send it. I don't know, maybe send it on the group so that your friends also should benefit. Yeah, you are going to check whether they are the same, is it?
Mm.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, so you can come late like that in class.
Madam, dana room is about to be
Oh, dear madam, okay.
You want to eject it?
Mm.
Don't remember this WhatsApp, madam.
Come again?
Just do
I
this.
send you a message WhatsApp, madam.
Uh,
Now you want to room.
naiona some.
I miss your call. Money.
Oh yeah, I opened it, I think, but I didn't read it. Imagine, because when that was the time when Dorothy was coming.
Yes, I hear madam. I'll come a bit late.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Schools za Burazi. Hiyo umeenda mafani. Generally me fine.
So we're saying for standard costing, that is the presentation. Um, okay, so we just have to go back to let's see what we have not tackled now. It means we're through with all the course outlines, isn't it? Yes.
Standard costing and variance analysis.
That is what we are supposed to learn.
That's the only one. Right.
Management account. Standard costing. That's where we should go. Paja iliku presentation iliku costing. Why fail kuku? I think I didn't take it there. Of course, there are a few minutes to go for this class, but we can just tackle it a bit. Standard costing. What is standard first? Because we cannot just start standard costing and yet we don't know what standard is all about. The word standard, what does it mean? Sam? Standard. Mona, my dear, thank you so much that you went to buy water. Where did you buy water? Raf, how much is it? I will buy mine lunch hour. The meaning of standard. Augustus, standard.
I think it just means a level of quality.
Yes,
Same
level.
level of quality.
Yes, level.
Something that makes like different value.
Standard. What is standard? Basic. Good. The basic. The benchmark. The yardstick. Isn't it? Yes. Yardstick, benchmark. The basis. So standard on its own is a word that means benchmark, that means yardstick. So when we're talking about the standard costing, we want to know, let's say, we want to determine the cost of something, just each. This is what Becker and Jacobson said, that the standard costing or standard is a benchmark or yardstick. So standard cost is the amount the firm thinks a product or an operation of a process of an activity for a period of time should cost or should be based on. So this is not just like that, but it is depends on the certain assumed conditions that are there. Let's say economic conditions and other factors that can be connected into that. So when we're talking about standard costing, we're talking about that. It's not just a standard, but it also has other conditions that will make it to be standard. So the standard cost of, let's say, something cannot be the same based on the conditions that you are moving in. So definition of standard cost according to the presentation, the planned unit cost of a product, component or service produced in a period. So the standard cost may be determined on a number of bases. The main use of standard cost is in performance measurement control. You can, Dorothy, now you can connect why standard cost was put as a subtopic in the performance measurement and control. Yes, because the last topic that was there in the performance measurement and control was standard costs. So this is what it means when we're talking about the standard costs. It assists in the performance measurement and control, for example, in the stock valuation, also in the selling prices. we have a standard to say this is the standard amount or the standard the cost for this product. So that is what we can talk about when we're talking about the standard. The presentation was for costing, but it will also assist us as the managers in decision making and performance. Mind you, when you are talking of a standard cost or a benchmark on that, it means you are talking about the same decision as well as how are you going to perform. Sorry, I'm in class. I'll phone at 2 o'clock. I'm in class. So when we're talking about standard cost, we are talking about those lines when we talk about standard cost, where we predetermine the cost which is calculated from management standard of efficient operations and relevant or necessary expenditure that is there. So it's a technical estimate that is done either by the management or by the organization as a whole, taking into account the conditions of what is going on, either economically or materials that can be there. For example, you cannot have the same standard cost when it's out of the time the material that you want to buy in let's say in harvest. You cannot. For example, now we can be talking about let's say mangoes, because mangoes now the standard cost for let's say making a juice of mango cannot be the same when the mango is not going to be there. So these are some of the things that we should be thinking when we're talking about the standard costs. Standard costs. Why should we talk about standard costs? Because here the topic, the subtopic of standard costing and the variance analysis is what is there. What is variance? What is variance? What is this? Variance. The difference. The difference between what and what? Good. Variance is between the budgeted and actual. Can you give an example for that? So that we should see the, let's say, the variance of what you are going to give us. Budget, actual. For materials, that is, how much did you budget for? 1 million. And then actual, 800,000.
Can you just determine this keyword?